Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I really need to tell you this story. When my children were young, we lived in San Diego, California, and we would go to Pop Up Terry's house. Now, Pop Up Terry was the man who helped put me through school, and he became my children's Pop Up. And so we'd go over to his house, and he'd always put out a bowl of snacks, and there were nuts and pretzels and chips. Now, Pop Up Terry did not eat potato chips, and he really didn't eat pretzels, but he had a big bag. And Pop Up Terry loved to go to Sam's because Pop Up Terry, even though he was a millionaire, loved a deal. He loved a deal. So Pop Up Terry would buy chips. He never ate chips, and the only time the chips were eaten were when we would come over. So the chips got stale. And one day, my sister was talking about the chips, and she was like, "These chips are stale," because she loved a good potato chip. She loved the crisp. She still loves a crispy chip, a nice crunch in a chip. These chips were stale. They would bend. They would bend all the way if you wanted them to. So one day, Fatima, who was like two, came into the house and she went up to Pop Up, and Pop Up was like, "Oh," and he picked her up and hugged her. And she said, "Pop Up, you got any more of them stale chips?" we still laugh about it. And whenever something is stale in the cabinet, we say, "Pop Up, stale chips are in here." Anyway, we were embarrassed. We were ashamed because we had been talking. Clearly, this 2-year old didn't come up with stale chips on her own. He knew that it was coming from the grown folks. And I thought about, in that moment, the shame that came. I eradicated that shame by simply apologizing. And I said, "Yes, we have laughed about the stale chips, and we know that they're stale because you don't eat the chips. And I know you're not throwing the chips away, and so the chips are still here." He said, "Well, why didn't you all tell me they were stale? I would have gotten a new bag." And we were like, "No, you wouldn't have." But the other thing I said was, "I appreciate that you buy snacks for the kids. And clearly, they don't mind the fact that they're stale." Sometimes people go out of their way to provide for us the things that we want and we need. And because it's not the thing that they typically do or want, sometimes when we get it, it's not quite what we like or what we want. And we often complain or point out what's not right, failing to see that they've gone out of their way to give us something that we liked at some point. So just ask for forgiveness when you kind of complain. From then on, we started taking our own chips. Those chips were so stale. But I really learned a good lesson that complaining about something that somebody else gives you that is not what they typically get is surely not gratitude. I love you.